Alright guys, today we are working on probably the most popular classical piece in the piano repertory, and that is Beethoven's for Elise. And so forth. Hello, I'm Sean Cheek. Welcome to my SeanCheek.com videos. I always put the free part 1 on YouTube, and the rest of the lessons for this piece will be on my website, SeanCheek.com. And let me mention, if you have any trouble reading notes at all, sight reading notes, knowing where the notes are on the keyboard and what they're called, you need to do my Sight Reading Boot Camp series, which is also on SeanCheek.com. It's kind of a fundamental jumpstart to get you reading music better and faster. But let's jump in here, get my highlighter turned on. And we start, we look up here and we see 3/8 time. Now what that means is there's 3 counts in a measure. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We're not counting to 4. Most of the time in most pieces of music it's a 4 for the top number, but it's a 3 here. The bottom number is an 8, and so that tells us the 8th note, which looks something like this with a flag, okay, is going to get the beat. Okay, so an 8th note gets the beat, and let's see, I gotta clear that. Oh, here's my keyboard. So quarter notes are going to get 2 counts. 8th notes are going to get 1 count. 16th notes are going to get half a count. Okay, so we start on count 3. It's a pickup note, so it's count 3, and then we have and. Okay, and then we're just going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and, okay? 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. And you can just keep counting the 16th notes like that throughout the whole piece. 1 and 2 and 3 and, okay? So those are the counts. These are 16th notes. They get half a count apiece, so it takes 2 of them to make 1 count. That's why we say 1 and 2 and 3 and. All right, we start off with an E in the right hand, this note right here, in the treble clef. Okay, so we start off with right hand. It says finger 5, but I like to use finger 4. It's how I've always used it since I was a kid. But so fingerings, again, are just, subjective. You can use what works for you. E, then we have a D sharp after that I'm going to play with my 3rd finger. And then we go back to E, then we go back to D sharp, then we go back to E. Okay, so our first notes are E, D sharp, E, D sharp, E. Then we're going to go down to a B. I'm going to use my 2nd finger, but this note on the middle line is a B note, and then up to D natural. Now, okay, this D was sharped, and the rule in music is this D would have been sharp too, because once you have a sharp on a note, it makes it sharp for the whole measure. But since they natural it here, it's not a sharp. Okay, so play a natural D, a regular D, and then we go to C natural. So let's do what we have thus far. E, D sharp, E, D sharp, E, B, D, C. Alright? You can play it expressively. Now we get to the next measure. Let's continue with the right hand. Here we have an A note. Okay? Just play that with your 1 finger, your thumb. A. Okay? The next 3 notes in the right hand, starting right here, are C, middle C, and then an E, and then an A. And you want to look at those kind of as a chord pattern here. C, E, A. See how I already get my fingers lined up to play those notes? I get them on the keys. Ba, ba, bum. Okay? Now let's look at the left hand. People always have trouble reading bass clef. My Sight Reading Boot Camp series is great for making sure that you know your left hand well. But let's look at the first one here. It's an A note down here. It's in the bottom space of the bass clef. Here's middle C, here's the next C. So this is the A you want with your 5th finger, your pinky finger. And then we're going to go up to an E note in this space. Okay, and I'm going to play that with my pointer finger, my 2 finger. Then I'm going to go up to an A note, the higher A octave. So this is an A with the thumb. So I have A, E, A. Okay? Now, if you notice, you're going to play your hands together right there. and then it just goes left, left, right, right, right. So we play together on the first one, and then left, left, right, right, right. Now I'm holding the pedal down, the damper pedal. If you have a keyboard like I have, you can plug in a foot switch, press it down and hold the notes so they keep ringing. If you have a regular piano, you can press the damper pedal on the right side. It's the pedal on the right, and it will sustain for you. Hold those notes down. Okay? So let's do what we have thus far. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... Okay? Alright, we'll move on to a B note in the right hand. So we have a B right there. Okay? So that's a B, and that's kind of a continuation of this. C, E, A, B. It's just the next note. Let's take a look at this right here, another chord pattern. We start off with an E, and then a G sharp. Okay? So here's a G, and this is a G sharp. I'm going to play it with my 2 finger. And then the B, following it, is the next note. That makes an E major chord, those of you who know chords. E, G sharp, B. Okay? Alright, let's look at the left hand for these 3. We start off with a low E note. So this first note we have way down here, E. And then we go up an E octave. And we play that with 5th finger and then your 1 finger right there. E, E. Now to get this G sharp, I'm simply going to cross over with my 2 finger like that. See how you cross over from one to the next? E, G sharp, I cross over. Now let's put hands together. Of course, we've got to play together there. So together, left, left, right, right, right. Again, together, left, left, right, right, right. Now let's go from the beginning, okay? So we'll start here and go all the way to there. 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and... Okay? Continuing on, the next measure. We have a C note here in the right hand. Left hand, at this point, is going to have the same thing that you had right here. A, E, A. A, E, A. Okay? Alright, so you play the C in the right hand with the A in the left hand. And then the right hand will have 3 notes to go after that. These 3 right here, which are E, and then up to high E, and then a D sharp. And it's just like what we did here. Okay? That E and D sharp, the last note in that measure, the last 2 notes, are like starting right here. We're going to repeat some things. Okay? So starting right here, continuing on to that point right there, it's exactly the same. Okay? So the part that I marked in red is exactly the same as what we've already taught. Now, right here in this edition, they have a D note here. I've always played it as an E. So if you were my personal student, I would put an X on that note, put an E. An edition just means, you know, there are different copies. Way back then, they just hand copied everything, and sometimes it would be a note difference, a discrepancy. And I think we've all heard it as an E, so I would change this D note to an E. Okay? And then C, B, A. So E, C, B, A. Now when you play that A, you're going to play left hand A, E, A. So, alright, then it would repeat. So we take a look here. I'm going to put this back again so you remember to do that as an E. When you repeat, you have E, D sharp, then you have the 2 bar lines, the thick line and the skinny line, and the 2 dots. It tells you to repeat back to the beginning. Or not to the beginning, but to this repeat sign that's facing the other way. So you'd go back to this point. So you'd go bum, bum, and then come back here, and then continue. Alright, so that's all we're going to do in this free part 1. But let me go slowly for you from the beginning all the way to, I'll stop right here, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 2. that's it for the free part one. I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you on SeanCheek.com.